All right, guys, thanks so much. Yeah, we're thrilled to have a bit of a dream team with us today to talk about WonderFi after a very successful debut on the NEO exchange. As we said this morning, WNDR, guys, if you want to check out the ticker for WonderFi. Whenever we are set, guys, we can bring on our guests. It's going to be a full house, so let's get right to it. We're so happy to have Josh Richards, TikTok star. We'll go left to right across the screen in case anyone's wondering. Josh Richards needs no introduction, obviously, 38 million plus followers right across all social media platforms. Our good friend Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, back in the building to talk about WonderFi. We're so happy to have Kevin back. And Ben Samaroo, CEO and director of WonderFi, here to talk about the company. First off, guys, right across the board, congratulations. Today is a big day for the company, obviously, as we said, making its debut on the NEO exchange here in Toronto. Again, WNDR, if you want to check out the symbol. Josh, let's kick things off with you. Why don't we? This is a big deal, obviously, for you as maybe a first venture into this space in general. As someone who has such influence on Gen Z, we're talking, a VC fund that has 100 million plus followers across all of its partners. Why was it important for you to use this opportunity with WonderFi to teach this crowd about financial literacy specifically, and give us your thoughts on DeFi in general?
Yeah, I mean, to start right off, the desire that I have shared with WonderFi was so important. It was going and empowering the youth, empowering others, and really teaching them and giving that confidence to go and to invest into DeFi. And with more and more curiosity sparking from this young generation today in the crypto space, and me seeing that through comments when I'm talking about cryptocurrency, if that's even through my younger siblings, my brother who's 12 or my sister who's just turned 18, and they're interested in getting involved. I know that it's a huge responsibility of mine to really share any knowledge I'm gaining and bring them along on this journey with WonderFi with me to really just get them to be educated and understand how to invest in crypto.
It's a great story, and as I said, we're so happy to have you with us today. Kevin, I want your thoughts on this as well. You've said 6 out of 10 of your most recent investments have either been in the crypto, blockchain space or DeFi space. Tell us why you think this latest push or this latest excitement has been so much greater than it has in the past, and why you felt you had to be a part of it.
Because in the last 3 years, the regulatory environment for crypto has changed all around the world, including in Canada and the United States, Switzerland, Germany, France, everywhere in the EU. I think there's a tremendous amount of institutional and consumer interest in this if there was a way to make it compliant. So on the institutional front, the reason they really haven't embraced crypto yet is there's no infrastructure to support all of their mark-to-market needs, the regulators, the external auditors. We have the same problem on the consumer side. And what WonderFi is solving for is the ability for my daughter, for example, who wants to make some interest off her cash. She'd like to buy some stable coin and get interest, but she has to be compliant on her tax return. We don't even have that worked out yet. That's what WonderFi is going to do. It's going to make it really simple to do it, but do it on a compliant basis. Nobody wants to be a cowboy when it comes to reporting their taxes. I don't care what country you're in, you want to be compliant. So this baseline opportunity, and what I saw in WonderFi was Ben's team that understood the regulatory environment was changing, but also knew how to harness it so that we could report for people. So I'm proud to say that we'll be one of the first, I think, to make it easy for the hundreds of millions of people who want to use DeFi to do it on a compliant basis. I don't have the option to be a rogue or be a cowboy investing in crypto. I have to be compliant because I have dozens of other investments in reporting companies that are financial services entities. I can't afford not to be compliant anytime. And WonderFi is giving me that opportunity, and I'm here to tell the story right beside Josh. We know that it's so important today when you're taking a new idea forward that you have to be able to reach out through social media and tell the company story. That's my job with WonderFi. So far, so good.
And we love the fact that this company is really making an effort to make it not only more accessible, but easier in general to understand. And Ben, I want to come to you, Ben Samaroo, CEO and Director of WonderFi, and get your thoughts on this as well, because tell everyone, first of all, when it comes to DeFi, this is a term that we've heard, over the past couple of months more and more frequently. Some people may be sitting around saying, okay, I hear this term, DeFi or decentralized finance. Tell everyone exactly what it is we're talking about, first of all, and how exactly WonderFi is going to approach bringing this to the masses on a more simpler scale.
Absolutely. DeFi, just to simplify it, it's new technology that enables financial products without an intermediary. So there's a lot of high value opportunities within DeFi. It's being able to lend and borrow without an intermediary. It's being able to earn interest on your assets without an intermediary taking a cut, buy and sell assets directly peer-to-peer, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different really compelling applications within DeFi, but one of the, you talk about accessibility, it is a huge issue. And our founding team's been in the crypto space since 2016. So we've seen how that sort of this community, it is very, it's a great talented sort of community of people, but it's very sort of insular and doesn't always have a good lens for the public. And so when we started working on WonderFi, that was the first problem we identified is, yeah, this is amazing. This technology could be the thing that disrupts finance, but nobody can use it. Anybody that's played around with DeFi knows it's too complex. You get lost in it, and your average person just does not have the opportunity to use it, which undermines the whole principle of DeFi, which is democratizing access to finance. So we've got something incredibly unique here, where we've got the biggest name in finance and investing, the biggest name in crypto, which is Sam Bankman-Fried and his group backing us. And then the biggest name in social media and the voice of Gen Z, Josh, who's also becoming a prominent name in the investment and finance community, all behind us. And it's really this intersection of social media and finance that Kevin touched on, which really is the part of the future of finance. So we're really excited to help create better access to DeFi and to really help bring it to the masses.
Speak to the importance here, and Kevin touched on the regulatory side of it, but speak to the importance here of both privacy and the security issues surrounding this space. There have been question marks, and I think that's kind of maybe some hesitation that people have regarding the unknown, first of all, and then how that's going to be addressed. So speak to how the company plans to address some of the ongoing security issues that have popped up over time in this space.
Absolutely. So it's really by design. So through our app, it's a curated experience where we're only providing people with exposure to protocols that are audited, tested, built by established teams, and have had a ton of transaction volume go through them without any issues. Part of the problem that you see in DeFi is lots of the technology is experimental. So you have people that are crypto experts and traders, like a lot of people on our team, that are doing this day in, day out, and that's where a lot of the exposure happens, because you have more complex technology, more smart contracts, more exposure points for something to go wrong. But again, that gets away from what the core value of DeFi is, which is really can be distilled to a few simple kind of functions that really people have a need and a want to use. So our job is to not present DeFi as this really complex thing that some coder in his basement is working on. It's really something that has value that everybody in the world can benefit from, and just packaging it up so that we're not providing people with exposure to things that are experimental and that create really high risk for them.
Kevin, I'll throw the same question at you. When it comes to the security and the privacy issues surrounding this space, Where do we see this going over time? You mentioned, a little bit on the regulatory side, but where do we see the security? How does that get solved, and how do we get further adoption into this tech?
The chain itself, blockchain, whether you talk about Ethereum or Solana, any of these chains provide incredible audit detail that just hasn't been harnessed yet for reporting purposes. The biggest challenge in DeFi and fintech itself right now is there is no infrastructure for compliance. WonderFi is working on that very aggressively so that, just before I came on the air, my son is up here working remotely. He's an engineer at Tesla. And he said to me, Dad, what's the story on WonderFi? When can I actually use it? And the reason he's waiting is he can go on to any wallet out there. He can go and be rogue if you wish, but he has no way to do 1099 reporting. He knows come tax time, what's he going to do? Try and calculate capital gains and interest himself across multiple wallets? It doesn't work. That's the problem. WonderFi is going to solve that. So not only on a secure basis with the chain behind it, but also to provide you with the reporting you need. My whole thesis about investing in WonderFi and in DeFi in general is that over the next 36 months, the next 3 years, the entire industry is going to focus on providing the same global infrastructure for compliance. That includes internal compliance, it includes external auditors and regulators in every geography. It will provide that infrastructure, and then the demand for products like this that Ben was just detailing will explode. I estimate, just taking Bitcoin, that there's $1 trillion worth of demand out there at the institutional level if there was compliant infrastructure, which there isn't. That's the problem. You try, think about this. You're running $1 billion mandate. You want to put 10% into Bitcoin or crypto. You can't download the app for an institution off a phone and stick $100 million into it. That makes no sense. It's the same problem for the consumer. The first question they have is it safe? And where's the reporting come tax time for me? That's really what we're trying to solve here. And I'm extremely excited about it. And I'll add something else that Josh brings to the table, along with my social media followers. The biggest challenge for every fintech company and anybody in DeFi is customer acquisition. Can they acquire customers on an economic basis? We think the WonderFi platform is going to be a fantastic way to help consolidate this industry, because between Josh and I, we can tell the story of any company's product or service that we want to acquire. So let's be transparent about this. We're going to grow this business on the basis of our ability to communicate with shareholders and users in a really unique way. Combining social media today and storytelling with market capitalization has proven to really change capital markets. You've seen it happen on Robinhood. You've seen it happen on Reddit. We're just another part of that. We are able to tell this company's story, and we're starting today with its listing.
And it's such a key point, and a great one at that. Josh, we'll give you last word here. Give us your take on how your generation, that Gen Z group, is not necessarily adopting to this technology at this point, but give us your take on their opinion of this. Are we going to see this as the next banking system for your audience specifically?
I think 100%. When I see trends through social media, if that's on platforms like TikTok or Instagram or wherever you go, even just hearing it through the grapevine of my friends as well, kids are so interested in getting into this space and it being safe, like Kevin is saying. And for us to be able to really bring this to them in a way where they're not going to be necessarily dumping in their money or their savings from their 9 to 5 that they're also saving up for college into a coin that's going to be pump and dump the next day. This is something that's going to be protected. This is something that's going to make people feel very, very safe when they're investing their money. So I'm just excited to have them join the app.
As we said, a bit of a dream team, gentlemen. Thank you so much once again for your time. Congratulations right across the board again. WNDR, the ticker, guys, here in Toronto on the NEO Exchange. Josh Richards, Kevin O'Leary, and Ben Samaroo. We appreciate your time, guys. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
There we go, guys. WonderFi. Check them out.